Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, why does Pink have a New Zealand accent? Life can be confusing like that. I'm walking up Bicton Hill in far north Queensland, and it's hot. And we're sweating, and we're drinking water, and we're stopping, and we're discovering very quickly that mountains aren't funny, they're hill areas. And we're stopping, and we're drinking and sweating, and eventually we get to the top, and we're rewarded with that beautiful vista of those lush, rolling green forests that roll right down to the sea. And it's lovely, until I realise that it's not. I've drunk so much water on the way up the hill that I now desperately need to relieve myself. And there's no facilities at the top of Bicton Hill, it's the middle of the bush. So I push my way through the trees and find myself a little secluded spot, and I squat down and get the angle right because I do not want to pee into my sock. And as I'm there, I notice a sign in the bushes. And what I read on that sign makes me very, very aware of where I am. I slowly pull up my pants and make my way back to the track, being very careful not to touch any of the leaves and trees on my way back to the safety. The sign has told me all about the Gympie Gympie. It's the world's most toxic plant, and it's right here in Australia. So it turns out it's not just the snakes and spiders we need to be aware of, the trees are out to kill us as well. Now, I avoid a brush with the Gympie Gympie that day, and we make our way safely to the Bingle Bay Cafe for breakfast. But it gets me thinking. Getting stung by a Gympie Gympie, wandering around in the bush and getting lost, is a lot like life. We end up doing what I call WOFTAM. WOFTAM. A waste of time and money. And it really hurts when we invest so much of our time and our effort and our energy and our money into stuff that doesn't work. It's really important that we have a sense of direction before we do that. Now, in the bush, we use a couple of tools. We have a map and a compass. The map gives us the lay of the land. It tells us where everything is, all our audience and how to reach them, the channels we can use. And our compass is our brand. It's what keeps us on track, on true north. You put the two of those together and very quickly you can avoid that sting of WOFTAM. So today I'm going to help you create your own brand true north. And we're going to start at West. West is all about who is it that you help? What pain do they have? Why do they have it? What's led them to you? And what makes it so important that they need your services, your products, or your solution, or your book right now? I'm making my way through the airport and I'm in a hurry to get to the gate. I'm late. And I realise as I get there, I've forgotten something. And it's not my passport. Every time I go away and come home again, I bring a gift for my daughter, a book or a toy, and I've forgotten something for her. And I'm going to get home tonight and she's going to be excited that Mummy's home, but then her little lips are going to start to quiver and her big brown eyes are going to start to well up with tears as she realises Mummy hasn't bought me anything. And then out of the corner of my eye, I see it. That all too familiar yellow triangular box. Toblerone. And there it is in the airport, right when I need it. So when you think about your ideal audience, I want you just to think about who are the people who need you right now. Now, the shape of the Toblerone is like a mountain. So if you think of yourself as a key opinion leader at the top of that mountain, you're just there to help people up your mountain. It's not about chasing all over the countryside after people, and it certainly isn't worrying about the trolls who live under the mountain. You need to get really clear on what you want to be known for, because you can't help every Mary in the dairy. You can't be everything to everyone. And that brings me nicely to East. East is all about your expert ease. The things you do with ease that other people find difficult. Now, when I normally talk about find the thing, what's the one thing that you want to be known for? Most entrepreneurs and clever people get worried. They get a bit of FOMO. But if I get into a pigeonhole, I'm going to miss out on all these opportunities. Now, there's a very, very easy way to get over that FOMO and create an umbrella brand that you can sell lots of different services and products and coaching and books and speaking and all sorts of things under the one brand. Now, at home, I have a Spangler. And I'm pretty sure everyone in this room has a Spangler at home. All of us probably spangle on a weekend. James Spangler in the 1900s is working at a department store. And as he's sweeping up, it's aggravating his asthma. The dust is getting into his lungs. Now, he's quite an innovative man, Spangler, so he grabs a pillowcase and a ceiling fan motor and his belt, and he wraps them around his broom, and as he's sweeping up, it gets all the dust into the bag and it doesn't infect his lungs. So he makes a few more of these because it works. And he sells them to a couple of his friends and some of his family, but it never really takes off until he shows it to his cousin, Susan Hoover. And of course, we don't spangle. I don't have a spangler at home, I have a Hoover. And we now Hoover regardless of what kind of vacuum cleaner we're using. And Hoover sells vacuum cleaners and white goods and TVs and all sorts of different things. So with your expertise, think about what's the one thing you want to be known for, and then put all of your products in underneath that. Because that's how you become a go-to expert, someone really valued for what you do. Which leads me nicely to South. South is all about the value. All you got to do is draw a line through that S and turn it into a $ to remember this. This is your trust currency. Because our brains are very, very complex, but they like things really simple. And I'm going to prove it to you. What I'd like you to do is I'd like you to take one of your feet, probably your right foot, and start turning it in a clockwise direction in front of you, round in a clockwise direction. Everyone's doing that? Clockwise. So while you're doing that, what I want you to do is point a finger in the air and draw the number 6. And notice what happens to your foot. It goes back the other way, right? So what's happened is, how often do you sit there twirling your foot in a clockwise direction? Hardly ever. But we've written the number 6 for years and years. Your brain overrides what's new with what it knows. So if you mix the messages, if you're out there constantly changing up and doing different things, you're going to devalue your trust currency, and no one will trust what you do. They won't think of you as an expert. You're trying to help every Mary in the dairy again. So what you need to do is be a pro, a problem, resolution, outcome. So we talked about problem in West, we talked resolution in East as the expert. In South, it's all about painting a picture of the outcome. Because when you do that, people want what you have, and they're prepared to pay anything to get it. So make sure you're talking about what's in it for them, and share why it matters to you so much. That brings me to North. North is all about your purpose and your passion, your story. Phil Knight is standing in the temple in Delphi, and he's shielding his eyes from the sun as he looks around that amazing Greek amphitheatre. This is the stuff of boyhood dreams. All those Greek myths and legends his parents read to him as a child. He can't believe he's here. And he's been here on his way from Japan, where he's talked to those amazing guys about maybe, just maybe, they could manufacture the running shoe that he's dreamt of creating. And as he turns to leave the temple, he notices a carving on the wall. And it's a carving of the Greek goddess Athena, the goddess of victory, otherwise known as Nike. And that's how Phil names his brand. And the swoosh of the Nike logo is the wings on Nike's feet. So what's your story? What's your brand story? How are you weaving it into your brand? How are you making sure that people know why you care about what you do? So that's your brand compass. You now have all 4 elements: West, East, South, and North. And that should keep you on track and away from the sting of that gimpy tree. And now you can just get out there and market yourself, can't you? Easy. Especially in today's age. It's not always that easy. We're still overwhelmed. But there is a simple way to get around that. I'm standing on the back veranda of my best friend's house in Imble, which is in the middle of nowhere. And it's a beautiful winter's night and all the stars are out. And because it's the middle of nowhere, there are no streetlights and we can see every part of the Milky Way. And there's people saying, gosh, there's the Southern Cross over there, and there's Orion, and there's a star over there, and it's changing colour from red to orange to green. That's amazing. And the all too familiar voice of my husband pipes up and he says, that's not a star, that's Mars. Now, he's not that bright. I don't know how he knows this. And as he turns around, he reveals that he has his phone in his hand. And he's using an app to look at the night sky, and it tells you exactly what's going on up there. So everyone at the party gets hold of the app, and we're all holding our phones around. Look, there's Sagittarius over there and there's Jupiter. And there's a man standing next to me with his phone down here. And he says, I can see other stars and planets. I said, I know, this app is so powerful, you're looking through the Earth at the northern hemisphere. I said, if you lean over just a little bit more, you can see Uranus. And everyone in the party does what you've just done. We all laugh, we put away our phones, and we start to get back to having conversations and making memories and connections. So this is the secret with marketing. You need to create that connection to resonate with people. Yes, social media is amazing. We've got technology, we have our phones, we can create incredible content, but you need to stay on track with your brand as your compass and make sure you are just heading in the right direction. Put your phones away and go and connect with people. Create marketing that matters. And then you will be on your brand true north. And you won't get stung by wasting so much time on stuff that doesn't matter. Because you have the most amazing gifts and talents that the world needs right now, and you deserve to be well known, well paid, and wanted. I'm Lauren Clemett. I've been your brand navigator, and you have been awesome.